Hello, how are you? I'm Kayla. This is Flosstube number 32. Today is August 28th, 2024. And yeah, how you doing? Summer's almost over. Me and the kids are starting school on Monday. It's been almost a month, I think, or a month since my last video. And I've got a decent amount of stuff to share with you. So yeah, I think I'll do life updates at the end, except I do have one important update that I want to make sure that I say, and that is that I finally started an Etsy shop. So I showed you guys maybe my last video or the one before that I started making project bags, and I really enjoyed it. And so you may know that I'm also very slowly working my way through some cross-stitch pattern designs and stitching models and stuff, but I take forever. But anyway, I decided I wanted to make some bags to sell too, because I really enjoyed it. So I'll link it below in the description box if anyone's interested. But my Etsy shop is called KG Stitch Co. with no spaces. KG Stitch Co. And right now I only have like 12 project bags in there. It's 4 designs, but I made 3 of each. So I'm just gonna show you this real quick, and then I promise I'll do cross stitch and knitting and stuff. But here's one of the bags. So they're all made with like nice quilting cotton. And they have YKK zippers and little faux suede zipper pulls. These ones they're all the two-toned right now. I have ideas for like a lot of quilting patterns and stuff, but I haven't gotten into it yet. I have tons of ideas. Excuse me. So I love this print so much, little chicken girls with a blue top, and this is the pattern on the inside of all 3. And then my next design that I've got in there, or set of bags, I should say, these are K-facet fabric. They all have the same zipper and zipper pull. And then the inside of this one is just a nice coordinating bubblegum pink. These are, well, I really love the chickens and I love all of them, but these are like my favorite ones right now, I think, because I'm obsessed with this fabric. This is my 3rd set of bags that I have in there right now. It's like this really beautiful jungle print with a green top, and then the inside is this super fun bright pink. And then my last set of bags is this K-facet fabric, which you guys may remember I used as the backing of my stepson's quilt. And I used what I had left for these because I just think it's so beautiful. So, and then the inside of this is another K-facet fabric, just because it coordinates and it's cute. So anyway, I'm sure many of you know how to make project bags or have your own favorite bag suppliers already, but you know, if you want to check out my shop, it's KG Stitch Co. And then whenever I have cross stitch patterns available, that's where the PDFs will be too. So anyway, now on to the rest of the video. Thank you for my announcement, or listening to my announcement and bearing with me. Okay, so I've got a finish, a cross stitch finish. It's actually an FFO. Who is she? She's so responsible. It is Celtic Cross designed by Diane Arthurs. This is an imaginating pattern that I had gotten with my husband at a local in-person brick and mortar cross stitch shop. And I finished it. The framing is not exactly perfect, as you can see. But anyway, I used the called for floss, which is just 2 DMC colors, and Weeks Dye Works 36 count linen color linen. So it's linen in the color linen. And here it is, all done. I managed to get all the back stitch done. I really didn't, honestly, it was one of those things like I didn't feel like it, but I was like, just spend a couple days and do it all and it'll be beautiful. And it is. This frame I ordered from Signed and Numbered on Etsy. This is just a 5x7 frame. Honestly, ideally, I would like smaller margins. I really like a tight margin, but I also wanted to try out Signed and Numbered. I've heard really good things about their shop. So, you know, it wasn't like you could customize the size completely, I think. I think maybe I could have sent a message and maybe they would have done it, but I don't know. But I really love how it comes with this backing. It looks very professional compared to my other self-framing jobs. So yeah, that is my finish and FFO. And in spite of the imperfect framing, it's not that bad though. It's good enough for me, honestly. Didn't take me very long. I just pinned it. And the frame came with matte board cut to size. It would have also come with glass, but I said I didn't want the glass. So yeah, I'm super, super pleased with it. I think it's super pretty. Super. I'll try to stop saying that word. Yeah, so that is my first thing to show you. Now, I've kind of been bouncing around a bit, but I was trying really hard to get a second finish. It's just not quite there. I think the next time I really take it out and work on it, it'll get done. So the second thing that I worked on the most was Lizzie Kate Prayer of St. Francis. This is a pattern that I had originally started thinking I was going to do like a Sunday stitch type of deal. And of course, like all of my good intentions, it fell apart rather quickly. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly haven't enjoyed stitching this piece, but I'm close to being done, you know what I mean? So this is on 32 count Winter Moon, and well, let me move this thread out of your way. So it's another one of the pieces that's on 32 count, and I changed the colors just based on what I had. So this is kind of color for color what I've done, except the Weeks Dye Works Palomino I ran out of about halfway through and I wasn't gonna buy more, so I'm just using DMC 610 now, I think, and it's close enough. I don't think anyone but me in real life is gonna know. I mean, you guys will know because I told you, but you know. Anyway, here it is. I am getting really close. The bottom, so the last time I worked on it, I had gotten the first half done and part of the first line here. But I've done the other 3 lines and the rest of this first line. I think I'm being accurate when I say what I had done so far. So I just have to finish the 4th line and then do the 5th line. And then this will be done. This is one of those projects that has also, like Froth and Bubble, that is by Long Dog Samplers that I kind of showed last time. This is another one that's kind of worn out its welcome. Again, it's kind of like the whole thing, for some reason, it feels like I'm eating my vegetables, you know, just trying to finish what I started type of a thing. It is cute though, I like how it looks. I think the colors are close enough to the cover photo. And yeah, the dove's a little ghosty, but it's fine. I do like it. It's just, you know, I want to have it done. So we'll see. Maybe I can be super responsible and get it done by next time, but maybe not. Oh, here comes my son down the stairs. If you hear that, he was listening to music. He was doing his chores, very responsible. Good boy, Mom. And that's just in one of my like Amazon-y project bags. Sorry for the zipper noise, actually. Okay, what else did I work on? So the rest of these were kind of, I have 2 new starts, but I think I actually forgot to grab something else, but I didn't get that much done on it, so it's probably okay. This I worked on, you know what, I might grab it. This I worked on only like, I don't know, a thread's worth of stitching. And this was a new start last year, so you guys haven't seen it. Halloween Babies by Mama Witch X Stitch on Etsy. I just think they're so cute. Now there's backstitch alphabet and their names are backstitched underneath them, but I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to do the characters. And my idea when I started it before was, oh, I didn't even okay, so I did a thread and part of another thread. It's length. My idea was to make it into a drum. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. So that's all I have done of this guy. Hardly anything. It's a very sad start. But I did basically do all this black when I picked it up this time. This is an 1/8 of a yard of 36 count French lilac Edinburgh linen by Picture This Plus. So yeah, I think it's gonna be adorable. This is the little penguiny birdie looking guy right here. So I did work just a smidge on him. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. I really wanted to show you what I had forgotten to take out. So this is another one of, you know, best intentions type of thing. I know myself and I knew that I likely wouldn't stick to this very long as far as a stitch along goes, but when I saw this pattern at the end of last year, before Christmas, like November maybe, I don't know, I fell in love with it immediately. No Time Like the Present by Modern Folk Embroidery. Oh, it's so beautiful. But yeah, I'm not keeping up with the stitch along at all, not even close. But I had asked for this pattern and the floss from Roxy Floss for Christmas. So this was like a big Christmas present. And I did start it in January, though I felt kind of behind the 8 ball because I did not have the fabric until close to the end of January. So I believe I got the January section done and a little bit of February, and that's pretty much it. And then I didn't touch it most of pretty much all of spring and summer until recently. So yeah, this is not going to be done in 2024. Like if I had stuck to it, would be done in October, I believe, but that's not going to happen. It doesn't matter though to me. I'm using the cover colors actually, which is Roxy Floss Great Lakes and Fallow Red. These flosses are, first of all, so beautiful, and second of all, so pleasant to stitch with. Like the feeling of them, just very smooth, lovely. So far, I have not had the experience that I have with other overdyed cottons where sometimes they feel like more fragile or get like more knotted, or they feel like they're thinner than DMC, even if they started it like as a plain DMC and then got dyed. I don't know. Sometimes overdyed flosses don't feel the greatest to me. That's kind of why I prefer stitching with DMC besides the price point. But those are really, really nice to stitch with. So here's the rest of them. I just kept them in the plastic to keep them nice. And I'm using a fat quarter of, I believe this is antique white or something like that, from Zweigart. Let me move this thread that is, of course, in the middle of my work. That's lovely. And it's 36 count. So here I am. As you can see, I still have a good chunk of the second section to do, which would have been February. But I did this whole area over here and filled in the rest of this. And I really love it. It's beautiful. Part of me didn't work on it for so long because I felt kind of guilty, even though I knew that I likely wouldn't keep up on it as a stitch along. But I felt kind of guilty that I didn't, and then I was like, stop feeling guilty. Just work on it when you want. It'll get done eventually. Whatever, you know. Some whip's gonna make you feel guilty. That's so silly. So that's done. I'm done talking about that. I don't really think I'm gonna talk about. Okay, well maybe I will. I worked some more on this was a hibernating model, honestly. It's a reproduction sampler that I am working on, that I own the reproduction. I think I showed you guys long time ago the antique. It's been charted fully for a while, and now I'm working on actually stitching it. So this is another 32 count project. I have it on 32 count dirty, I believe, by Zweigart. But yeah, there's 2 birds on either side. It says Año 1903 up there. This is Ana Medina. And in here, there's a very funky dog with like a little weird dog house. So it'll be fun as that comes together. I'm excited for you guys to see it when it's done. Okay, on to my new starts. After I finished the Celtic Cross, I decided I was gonna finally start one of these projects that I've had kitted for a while, that I'm just really excited about, and it's fall themed, so it's cute. This is it. It's called Camping Toads by Mama Witch X Stitch on Etsy. I believe this is her Gumroad website where I'm getting the picture from, but she's also on Etsy. And I've owned this pattern for a while. These are the called for DMC. And I'm using 36 count Magical Gray by Zweigart, so I'm doing 1/2. And this is 1 day of stitching, actually. It's kind of difficult to see. Let me see if I can hold it over here. So it's a 4-page pattern. Difficult to read, these patterns, I've got to say. Maybe it's just how my printer printed them. But anyway, I have to do, these are the leaf stem bits over here, so they're like leaves like that. And I have to do some back stitch on these guys and then start toads, because the toads are more centered towards the middle of the pattern. But super fun. And yeah, I will get back to that as I feel like. I feel like if I had to choose a character or a toad to be, I would definitely be that one. That's me right there. Which one would you be? And this is in my Kathy Holden camping ephemera bag that I made for myself. And I still have some more of this fabric, so I'll probably make some more of these bags to put in my shop. But it will have a different lining. This is the lining I have for mine, but I don't have any more of that. So that's that one new start. And then here, I started this yesterday. And this is another Kathy Holden bag, I think. It's just a cheater print. I wish I had more of this fabric because I love it. But this was one that I had cut out for a long time, but I ran out of fusible interfacing, so I had to buy more, and I finished this as I was working on some shop bags. I said, okay, let me get this done. And this is a project that I've had the floss for and the pattern for basically since it was re-released. I ordered it from 123 Stitch, and when I had shared that I got this pattern, I was like, it smelled musty, and it did. But okay, I'm so glad that they've re-released this. Birds of a Feather by Blackbird Designs. I've loved it ever since I first saw it. So of course I jumped on it as soon as it was re-released. I'm using the DMC conversion, of course. Those are the colors. Sorry if you can hear the house music in the background. House meaning the show, not like the genre of music. Anyway, and I wasn't sure for a while. I wanted to stitch this piece on 90s Nirvana. I thought it would look really cool, but I can't get a hold of that. It's like impossible for me. I don't know how people are getting needle and flax fabric. I don't know how they do it. I literally have no idea. But I found that I had a leftover piece of a fat quarter of Summer Khaki. I believe this is 36 count Summer Khaki by Zweigart. This is left over from my 1812 Moth or Butterfly collection by Carriage House Samplings. And it's a boring look at start because it's just the border with DMC 611. So, you know, not much, but again, I just started it yesterday and I didn't stitch a ton. So I had some errands to run and stuff that came up, but there's that. It eventually will be this very beautiful and adorable, whimsical. I love the border because there's just like little bits and bobs throughout it. And I love how the letters are all kind of wonky, funky. Honestly, I love everything about this sampler. So I kind of am gonna count this as like my little back to school start since we're starting on Monday. And, you know, sampler September's coming. Not that I necessarily will follow that. I'll kind of fly by the seat of my pants and stitch whatever I feel like. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I mentioned that this pattern smelled musty when I got it, right? That kind of turned me off from starting it right away because I didn't want to put fabric with it and then have the fabric smell musty. So what I did is I kept it with my patterns, but I had it in one of those plastic bags that, like if you have ordered fabric from 123 Stitch, it's kind of like a sheet protector except loosey-goosey. It's a plastic bag, but no top, like no closure. So that's what I had it in one of those. So it wouldn't make the other pattern stinky, but could air out. And it did the trick. It doesn't smell musty at all anymore. It took a while, but yeah. So now I don't mind having fabric with it and floss on it and all that. Because the floss I kept next to the pattern too, but in a sealed plastic bag, so it wouldn't be contaminated by the smell. But yeah, now it's all better. So that's happy to report that because that was weird. I'd never had that issue with patterns from 123 Stitch or anywhere before. So I was like, what happened to this? How did that happen? Okay. That is all the cross stitch I have to share, except for a small bit of haul that I got while thrifting. So most of that sound was yarn that was thrifted the same day. But yeah, one day, a couple weeks ago, my middle son, Liam, was doing a youth police academy for a week that he wanted to do. It was their first one. They're like the police department's first one that they did. And so he was off doing that all day. So my husband and daughter and I went thrifting for a little outing, which we had a stressful few weeks. So it was nice to do something fun like that. And I came across a couple of cross stitch patterns that you'll probably recognize. So I had to snag them. Oh Christmas Tree by All Through the Night. I've seen a bunch of people stitching this. Sorry for the glare. I paid 99 cents for each pattern. And yeah, they're definitely clearly used, but still readable. So that's good. I really love this. And then I got two La-Di-Da patterns as well. This was my Sunshine, which, you know, the kids and I sing this song, or at least we used to a lot. And then also Merry Sunshine. It says, good morning, Merry Sunshine. Why'd you wake so soon? You chase all the stars and shine away the moon. I don't know, I thought it was cute. No immediate plans to start any of these, but I think if I'm going to start any, it might be this one, but closer to Christmas and maybe not. I have other Christmas patterns that I love too. And then anyway, at a different thrift store that same day, I got a huge bag of vintage cotton yarn for $5.99, I think. Cotton Carol by, I don't even know what this says. Tessanne or Jessanne or something. So I got, in that bag, it was 3 packs of red, 4 skeins each. So I think it's a 200 gram pack. So 600 grams of red, 200 grams of this tan color. And then 400 grams of this blue. And then these were just loose in that bag too. So 100 grams of this really light blue and 50 grams of this teal. I just put it in this bag to keep it safe. This was, and they came with these vintage patterns, which of course the sizing is not inclusive at all because it's quite vintage, but cute though. I don't know, if I was to do any of them, I'd probably do this one and I'd have to do the largest size and probably be off gauge in order to make it fit me. And I'm like a mid-sized girl. I'm not super small at all, but I'm also not the biggest. I do have a chest that's sometimes aggressive. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, not very size inclusive, so take that what you will. I probably wouldn't use these patterns anyway. And I don't have immediate plans, although I have looked at some like striped sweaters. I don't think I would do red, white, and blue, or red, tan, and blue together. Maybe like the red and the tan, because I have the most of the red. And then find something else. I'm not sure. But it was a great deal. I couldn't pass it up. Less than $6 for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 1,200 grams plus another, what, 1,350 grams of vintage cotton yarn. And it says it's a DK weight when I looked on Ravelry. I think you could get away with sport too. I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah. The next thing I have is knitting. And I forgot to grab an old project to show you guys. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have on my an older completed project from last year to share with you guys, plus, Sally, stop. Plus projects I was recently working on. And so this is massive. Let me show you standing up. I'm wearing shorts because it's gonna be really hot today. But here it is. It's supposed to be super oversized. This is the Harlow sweater V-neck version by Kaylagrayy. It's knitted with worsted weight yarn. I'm gonna sit down now. It's got a deep V-neck. It's a fold over neckline. And it's a huge drop shoulder, as you can see. I have the sleeves cuffed. Okay, so I knitted this with thrifted yarn as well. This was Lion brand Wool Ease, I think in Rose Heather or Rosewood Heather. It's on my Ravelry page. I knitted the 3rd size, which I think is like a large, because I wanted an oversized, you know, sweatshirt replacement type thing. In retrospect, number one, I didn't do a gauge swatch. I was living dangerously. And I would have probably gone down, I could have probably gone down 2 sizes. Definitely a size down from what I did. One thing that was disappointing, and now I actually can't see it so well. Oh, here it is. I ran out of the yarn that I'd thrifted, and I had to buy 1 extra skein online, which cost more buying it new than it did for all of the rest of the yarn for the sweater, which irritated me. And of course, the dye laths are different. You can kind of see, but that's okay. So that's a little irritating. But if I had gone down to the proper size, I probably wouldn't have had to buy yarn. But yeah, I mean, it's big and cozy. I would knit this again for sure. I enjoyed knitting this pattern. I would knit this again, but in a smaller size, different yarn. I really do like the pickup line here. The way she has you do it is it's like an I-cord, and then you pick up along the edge, so then you have this braid all along the back, which is nice. Yeah, so that's one previous pattern that I finished. Oh gosh, my leg's stuck. Okay, sorry. Let me take it off though. It's a little hot for this. Start sweating aggressively. Okay. Let me show you this, which is not super exciting, but it's progress. Anyway, I finished weaving in the ends on my posset cardigan. That's by Kate Davies Designs. So now I just have to pick up for the neckband. just have to pick up for the, you know, the band that goes here and up around the neck. That's my next step. And then I have to do that, different colors, and then you leave those stitches live, and then you will do an I-cord bind off all along the bottom and along the live edge here. So all of these ends are woven in finally, and I'm actually able to do that next step. But of course I haven't picked it up yet because I started another sweater. So I haven't done that step yet. Of course I'll have to do sleeves as well. But I really am going to love this fabric. This is so nice. It's fingering weight yarn. It's knitted on size 4 needles, which I'm trying to think of what the millimeter is. Oh, it's 3.5 millimeter on Chowgu red lace fixed circulars. That's what I did most of the body on. Anyway, so what about it? So it's obviously not the quickest to make progress, besides it being garter stitch, so it kind of shrinks up, you know, but it feels so nice. I mean, I get why people knit sweaters with fingering weight yarn, even though it's a lot of work, because it just is, it's lovely, like on your body. So that's the progress there. I just have to take the next steps. Yeah, but I started another project, which I actually posted on Instagram about, kind of. It wasn't the best picture. I'm not very good at Instagram. I'm trying really hard to create a reason for myself to post more. But anyway, I'm using a more deep stash yarn. This is the Rosemary Cardigan by Savory Knitting. Sorry for the black and white photo. Her sample is kind of like a foresty green. It's really lovely. But I'm using Wool of the Andes tweed in Welly's Heather. So it's like a black tweed. And I am really close to finishing the body. Really, really close. So here's just, you know, what it looks like. I actually started to use this yarn. I've had this in stash for a long time. I started to use this yarn on a crochet cardigan last year sometime. And when I started that, I didn't think about how much more yarn crochet uses than knitting, because I had initially purchased a sweater quantity with like knitting in mind. And so I was doing, I think, the back of the cardigan and going through so much yarn and realized there's no way on earth I'm gonna have enough. I might have enough to complete the body, but certainly not sleeves. And honestly, I don't even think I was gonna have enough to complete the body. And so I kind of, oh, sorry, Amy had to correct Sully. I had to kind of hibernate the whip and decide what I wanted to do. Like, did I want to buy more yarn so I could finish it? Did I want to make it a vest? And then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So I frogged that cardigan, and then this yarn kind of sat, and I was trying to figure out what to do with it. Well, then I saw the Rosemary cardigan, and I was like, yes, sold. It's kind of just like a classic, simple raglan cardigan with a shawl collar. I'm trying to find a way to show this. Okay, and something that I was really attracted to about this is that you do the button band and the buttonholes while you're knitting the body, as opposed to having to pick up stitches separately and then do, you know, like the collar and the button band and everything like that. And so I hadn't done anything like that before. I've never knit a shawl collar before. So I thought, even though this is super simple, I'll at least be doing a new technique, new-ish technique to me. Okay, so it's so hard to see because it's black yarn, but you start with the collar. This is ribbed and it's kind of in a wedge shape. And then you pick up along the sides of the collar, and then you start, this is a garter stitch on the button band, and you kind of, you know, decrease down to end up being like that wide. And then, you know, ever so often with the rows, you have to do a buttonhole on the one side. So that's the back. I just think this is a really good yarn for this pattern. It's certainly not, it's non-superwash, you know, and it's not merino. It's like a Highland wool, I think Peruvian Highland wool. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. But So it's not like the softest hand, but it doesn't bother me at all. I've used this fabric or this similar yarn before for my Felix cardigan, which maybe I'll show next time because I had finished that during my hiatus. Yeah, I really like it. So I'm on the bottom ribbing now. And then I have to do the sleeves, besides weaving in ends, of course. But this is a worsted weight gauge. I'm using a size 7 needle for the ribbing. That's a US size 7, and a US 8 needle for the body. So US 8 is a 5mm and 7 is a 4.5mm needle. So it goes quite quickly. And I started this, you know, since my last video. So yeah, I wish you could see it. I mean, it's hard to show the details because of the color, but the color does make it versatile for wearing, in my opinion. I really, really like it. So I'm gonna keep working on this. You know, we had a week here in New Jersey, and I think other places in the US also had it, where it was like fake fall, you know, false fall, which was glorious because fall is my favorite season. By far my favorite season. So even though I knew it was false fall and it wasn't going to last, in fact, it's gonna be like 95 or 97 degrees today, it made me be like, yes, fall's coming, woo, you know? So it was like fall knitting, obviously, and I've had this project in my mind for a while. I tend to do that. I'll have yarn in my stash, and then I'll finally decide what project I want, and then I kind of mull it over for a long time before I really start it. That tends to be what happens. So yeah, and oh, I'm knitting the 3rd size as well. I don't think I'm giving it quite as much ease as the pattern recommends, although I think it's within the range, just on the lower end of the range, which I've kind of realized about myself because of like my bust circumference. But in relation to the rest of my body, which isn't tiny by any means, but again, mid-sized, I tend to not want as much ease as some patterns recommend because they're just like the Kaylagrayy V-neck sweater that I showed you. It's just wildly aggressive. Like I don't wear that out, you know, unless it's like a look, which anyway. So, okay, that's all I've got besides a life update, which will be quick. Sorry, Amy's in here and distracting me. Hi, Amy. Hi. Oh, you're getting your project. Cool. So life update. So yeah, like I said, we're starting school on Monday, on Labor Day, which is later than we usually do by a few days, but it's just how like the weeks worked out this year. It's a Monday, so it's September 2nd. So yeah, usually I'm at like the last week of August, like August 30th or 31st, but it's always a Monday. So yeah, it just worked out that way. But if we stick to our schedule, we'll still be able to be done by like May 31st in 2025. So that's good. I'm getting really excited about that. Liam will be in 7th grade, Amy in 5th. Liam's still doing paintball, had tournament this weekend. Amy, did do an audition for a Willy Wonka show, but it turned out that they had added a grade limit, so she was a grade below what they actually wanted. But it was good practice for the audition, and we now have information about a show coming up in a few months, so that'll be exciting for her. My mother-in-law had to go to the ICU the end of July and spent a good amount of time in the hospital this past month, so that was stressful. Luckily she made it, but you know, it was pretty hairy there for a while. So yeah, now she's just in different facilities trying to get post-acute care and all other kinds of care that she needs. So yeah, my husband's her only son, so you know, we're taking care of the stuff that we need to take care of right now. I'm just taking care of her cat some more. But it was certainly much more stressful and acute and scary at first. And now it's just kind of like, okay, you know, just getting through it, you know? So anyway, so that was a big part of our last month too. It wasn't the best, but everything's okay, you know? So yeah, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else to share that's pertinent. Oh, my husband actually is, if you could keep my husband in your prayers, if you would pray for my husband too, that would be helpful. He's getting an MRI on Friday for his back, and hopefully we can get some answers as to what has been he's been having a lot of pain for a long time, a lot of nerve symptoms. So hopefully they'll be able to find answers and a solution. So if you could keep that in your mind, I'd really appreciate that. Okay. That's it. I hope that you're well. I hope you're enjoying your crafting and stitching and that it's bringing you joy, and I will see you soon. Bye.